if Morgan is out? Like, we don't know at this point.
Yeah, he plays a lot of minutes for us. A lot of different situations, and anytime you take a guy like that, out of the lineup for any period of time, there's going to be guys that need to step up.
Have you seen him? How's he holding up, I guess?
Yeah, he's around, but I don't know what is going on with him today. So.
Was the game plan just to keep things simple, especially from a blue line perspective?
Yeah, I think sometimes you try and do too much and get yourself into trouble. I think that's something that I think Nick Lidstrom's to blame for that. I think every coach in the league saw him play for so long and said, well, I'd like my D-men to do that. So he made all of our job that much simpler, but that much more difficult.
How much video of Nick Lidstrom does he show you guys?
We haven't done any, but he's someone that, growing up, you watched a lot of. So.
Yeah.
What stands out to you about Jake, playing with him and how he's developed all this season?
I think his puck skills speak for themselves. So he doesn't have to play defense for a real long period of time. When he's skating well, he's using his stick well, and he's able to kind of break plays up and get the puck back, and his puck skills are good, so he's moving forward again. And it's kind of rinse and repeat. He's a good player for us.
Chemistry's always been there, it seems, dating back to last spring. What do you see in terms of that chemistry that's allowed you two to succeed as a group?
I think it just boils down to those couple of things. The things I like to talk about, in his game being strong, those are kind of the things that I try to bring. So when we're both moving well, gapped up, and you have good stick position, the other team's not able to put the puck into dangerous areas, and you're able to get it back and get moving forward and go play offense. And then you're fresh to play defense when you have to, and you're able to make much better decisions when you are fresh like that.
You guys have had some injuries, but not a great deal of injuries. Do you feel kind of blessed that way? You want to keep that
yeah, absolutely. You don't wish injuries on anybody. It's a huge obstacle for certain teams. You hear that story every year. Usually the reaction's always, guys need to step up and battle through it. But the facts are that, when your team's healthy and you're playing well, that's definitely a positive.
Jake was saying just a moment ago, he played 30 minutes almost last night, but he said they weren't a tough 30 minutes. Have you learned in your experience so far that some minutes are harder than others, and that when you're in the offensive zone, it's a little bit easier to play more minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always felt that way too, that personally, the more minutes you play, I haven't done it year in, year out, like you hear about around the league. Certain guys that have been able to be workhorses for a while, but the nights you're playing a lot, typically that's closely related to you're playing well, for one, and then you're probably not playing a ton your own end because you are playing well, and you kind of get the feel of it. You get humming a bit, and you're confident in your game. You got good jump, and you're able to put together a good effort for a lot of time.
How has your confidence grown individually as the season's gone on here?
It's good. It's something that you got to be careful with too, though. You got to respect the league. You're playing dangerous teams every night. You got to make good plays, and you got to take care of yourself and your partner, and most importantly, the puck. So. For me personally, I feel more comfortable going into games. You feel better, at puck drop every night. You're the nerves and all that like that ease, and I think it's something that's natural for really any player. The more experience you get, the easier it gets.
Zach said last night, asked about being down 2 goals and losing. Morgan said, well, good teams come back from that sort of thing. He's seeing more and more of those kind of moments with this team this year, that you're overcoming some adverse situations in games?
Yeah, I think that's important. You get a lot of moments to test yourself through a season. It's a long year, and you're always you're always interested to see how your team responds. And last night was a good effort against a team that had a little bit of a jump start on us, and that's I think a good part of our group is we kind of focus on every night. We don't really get ahead of ourselves, and that's how you piece together a good year. You just try and put together good days, and all of a sudden you look up at the end of the season, you're pretty proud of what you put together.
And I don't think your team had won a game when trailing by any number of goals after one period as well. So that was a good character building.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I wouldn't even know, but we knew that if 2's the number, we can definitely tie that, and we've scored 3 goals in a lot of games after the first period. So the task wasn't something that we were unfamiliar with.
How are the systems working for defensemen? Is it fun? Like, does it take some of the pressure off? When Jake was just saying last night, like, when Morgan went down, simplify, get it into the hands of the forwards and cycle down low. I mean, when the system's clicking, how much pressure does that take off of you guys?
It's huge. Your reads are so much cleaner and quicker. There's less of them you need to make. Like, I'd say certain nights, say you're playing defense real well, but you just have to do it a lot because, your team play is not great. Your puck, your dumps and all that are maybe off that night. you might be doing fine, but the game's a little bit more stressful. When you're taking care of the puck, when your system's kind of taking care of your defenseman, the game gets easier from the goalie on out.